Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ISKCON Blantyre, where we are currently discussing the appearance and pastimes of Lord Sri Narasimhadeva, who appeared to save his devotee. By the way, today is also Ekadashi, so it would be nice if we fast and you know stop wasting other time and focus on chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra so that we can get or we can reap extra benefits from the Lord's blessings. Let's read further. Till yesterday, we read till text 42 of the 8th chapter. Let's start reading text 43rd onwards. Text 43. All the saintly persons present offered their praise in this way: O Lord, O supreme maintainer of those sheltered at your lotus feet, O original personality of Godhead, the process of austerity and penance in which you instructed us before is the spiritual power of your very self. It is by austerity that you create the material world, which lies dormant within you. This austerity was almost stopped by the activities of this demon, but now by your appearing in the form of Narasimhadev, which is meant to give which is meant just to give us protection by killing the demon, you have again proved or approved the process of austerity. So yes, austerity is very, very important. We'll read in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport means commentary. The living entities wandering within the jurisdiction of 8,400,000 species, or in Indian numbers 84 lakh species of life, get the opportunity for self-realization in the human form and gradually in such other elevated forms as those of the demigods, kinnaras, charanas, as well as will be described below. In the higher statuses of life, beginning from the human life, the main duty is tapasya or austerity. As Lord Rishabdev, advised his sons, Tapo Divvam Putrakayena Sattvam Shuddhed. To rectify our material existence, austerity, tapasya is absolutely necessary. However, when people in general come under the control of a demon or demoniac ruling power, they forget this process of tapasya and gradually also become demoniac. All the saintly persons who were generally engaged in austerity felt relieved when Hiranyakashipu was killed by the Lord in the form of Narasimhadev. They realized that the original instructions concerning human life that is meant for tapasya or self-realization was reaffirmed by the Lord when he killed Hiranyakashipu. Yes, previously we saw how Hiranyakashipu took over the whole universe and he changed everything how he wanted. Whenever he wanted, it will rain. Whenever he wanted, the tree had to produce a fruit. It's not that, it's mango tree, wait till the summer. No, when he wanted, it had to happen. So then, he had spoiled all the normal rules of the material world. But then Lord Narasimhadev kept all the promises of Lord Brahma intact, and he appeared and he killed this demon in the form which was not a man or not an animal, not in the air, not on ground, not in the day, not at night, not by any weapon. So then the Lord, when he killed this demon, everybody in this universe was happy. So yes, I have taken some notes. Let me go through them and let's discuss some things from this thing. It is Prabhupada described in the purport in the commentary that human life is meant for austerity. Austerity means tapasya. When we say tapasya, tapasya doesn't mean that we got to be like Hiranyakashipu, stand on the tip of our toes like this. I cannot show you my toes; they are down there. So and folded hands, stand for thousands of years chanting Om Brahma Devaya Namaha or whatever God's name you want to take. It's not that. It's simple austerity. Everything is austerity in this material world. Waking up in the morning is an austerity. Nobody wants to wake up. So to do things that we don't like is called austerity. So chanting Hare Krishna is something that technically nobody likes because so much waste of time. Instead of that, I can log on to Netflix and watch some movie and enjoy myself. So we don't want to chant Hare Krishna. So that is austerity. So we should do that austerity. That's what it is said. And Lord Rishabdev in the fifth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, fifth chapter, first sloka, he's saying, Nayam deha deha bhajan raloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujamye tapo divyam putrakayena satvam shuddhed yasmad brahma sokhyam tvanantam. That is human form. He's instructing his sons. Now, father should be like this. He should be instructing his sons in spiritual knowledge. Not nowadays, fathers are sending children to big international schools where they are taught how to compete with each other and get a better business or, become rich or become powerful. But this is what the father must teach, that at the end of life, this is what matters, not how much money you have. We have in 2000, in the year 2000, 7th January, there was this movie that was released in India, Bollywood. It was the very first movie of the great actor Hrithik Roshan. And one of the songs in that movie, I mean, I was a child, so I was watching movies, so I heard that song. It was saying "Khali haath aaye the hum, khali haath jayenge," which means we have come to this material world empty-handed, and we are going to go empty-handed. So whatever we learn in school, we got to make money. We got to make the best of our opportunity. We got to be on the top of the pyramid and all. Doesn't really matter because anyways, when we die, we are not going to take anything with us. So Bollywood gets this, but they don't really give the purport to it. They just make a song and have fun, and then they're back to making money and trying to become richer than other actors or richer than uh, other people. So yes, we should do austerity. We should do divine austerity. Tapo divyam. We should do divine austerity. Divine austerity means just like today's Ekadashi, we can fast on Ekadashi. Well, if we can fast total fast, it's best, or else we can take some water. If you're still hungry, like me, I'm diabetic, so I take some fruits and some sabudana, or the English word for the sabudana will be tapioca, I think. I don't know. So, we can take all these and fast, because when we are always interested in eating and doing this and that, we are wasting our time, we are wasting our human life for all these things. That's why in 15 days, once there is Ekadashi, it's good to fast so that we can focus, not waste our time in cooking and all, and just focus on chanting Hare Krishna, reading the scriptures, learning how Hiranyakashipu was trying to take over, and he was killed by the Lord. So it's nice. So that's what austerity we should do. And nobody is going to die by fasting. Nowadays, people are doing intermittent fasting. Oh, I'm not going to eat, 8 hours or 16 hours. Some people I have seen, they don't eat for 72 hours. My wife was trying and she didn't eat for 48 hours. So we are doing austerity. So better we do austerity for Krishna. Better we do austerity for God. And then we get points. We get divine points so that after our this life, in the afterlife, we get better facilities for practicing devotional service. And Prabhupada is mentioning at the end of the purport that, because of wrong governance or wrong, Prabhupada is using that particular word. Let me look for it. He is saying, all 30%. However, when people in general come under the control of demoniac ruling power, so nowadays the whole world is under the demonic ruling power. Everybody wants power, and because they want power, they are waging wars. We see that there's a big war happening in the Middle East. I don't know what's the reason. I have no idea because I don't read much newspapers. I'm just scrolling YouTube shorts or Instagram reels and it comes up something, but because that's not the full story. We never know what's happening. So, but we know underlying thing is everybody wants to show their power. I'm more powerful than you. What do you think? Who you are? Our country is the best country, so we are going to wage war with the others. So yeah, because the ruling party is a demonic party, so naturally there's a fear amongst devotees also, like how when Hiranyakashipu was ruling, all the demigods, they're like gods, as good as God, but they were also very, very afraid of Hiranyakashipu. So that's what happens. Even though however powerful a man may be, but when the governance and the ruling power is not favorable, there's problem to everybody. Okay, so let's read ahead and see how it goes. This is 44 text. Text 44 translation. The inhabitants of Pitraloka prayed. Now Lord Shiva finished pray, King Indra finished pray. Now the inhabitants of Pitraloka are praying. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Lord Narasimhadeva, the maintainer of religious principles of the universe. He has killed Hiranyakashipu, the demon who by force enjoyed all the offerings of the Shraddha ceremonies performed by our sons and grandsons on the anniversaries of our death, and who drank the water which sesame seeds offered in the holy places of pilgrimage. By killing this demon, O Lord, you have taken back all this stolen property from his abdomen by piercing it with your nails. We therefore wish to offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Purport, commentary. It is a duty of a householder to offer food grains to all their departed forefathers. But during the time of Hiranyakashipu, this process was stopped. No one would offer Shraddha oblations of food grains to the forefathers with great respect. Thus, when there is demoniac rule, everything concerning to the Vedic principles is turned upside down. All the religious ceremonies of yajna are stopped. The resources meant to be spent for yajna are taken away by the demoniac government. Everything becomes chaotic, and consequently, the entire world becomes hell itself. When the demons are killed by the presence of Narasimhadev, everyone feels comfortable irrespective of the planet upon which he lives. Yes, this last line is very, very important. When the demons are killed by the presence of Narasimhadev, Narasimhadev is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, incarnation of Krishna, Vishnu, came to, save his dear devotee Prahlad Maharaj. And we have mentioned in our previous discussions how the name of Lord Narasimhadev, name of Lord Krishna and Krishna are not different. So when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is present in his name, and because he is present, he's right before us, then everybody feels comfortable, irrespective of which planet he's living or who is ruling that planet, or in our cases, who is ruling our particular country. My country, India, is currently ruled by BJP government, which is a very pro-Sanatan government, and America is ruled by Trump, and we know what's happening there. Then similarly, Kenya is ruled by Mr. Ruto, I think. So, various countries are ruled by various people. But when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we have Lord Krishna with us. We have Narasimhadev with us when we are chanting. So then there is no need to feel, stress. Everyone can feel comfortable irrespective of which planet he lives, or in our context, irrespective of which country we are living in. Yes, it's very, very, very necessary to know that. So here it's all Pitraloka planet. The people staying there are complaining, or they're thanking the Lord that, my dear Lord, thank you very much. You came and you killed this demon Hiranyakashipu, who was, not letting our sons and grandsons perform Shraddha ceremony. Shraddha ceremony, in simple terms, is just offering prayers and food to our departed family members for their further progress. And this food is not just food; it has to be offered to Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna or Lord Narasimhadev first, and then offered it as prasadam to the departed soul, so that they get more benefit out of it. Oh, prasadam is being served to them. Okay, if they honor that prasadam, they will get blessings, because prasadam is indeed blessed food. So yes, and during during Hiranyakashipu's time, this was stopped, because Hiranyakashipu, he took over the whole universe, and he did not let anybody live peacefully. But when Narasimhadev came, he killed Hiranyakashipu. Peace was restored. Everybody was peaceful. Technically, whatever we are doing in this world, we are doing it for peace of mind. Oh, Prabhuji, I come to the temple every day, sit for 5 minutes and do meditation, because it gives me peace of mind. So whatever we are doing it for peace of mind. So then why not do this? Why shouldn't our family members departed, who did not have the opportunity to be Krishna conscious, or to be Narasimhadev conscious, or to be Ram conscious, you know we should also give them the opportunity by serving them Krishna prasadam, so that they get purified. And it is also mentioned here how that Hiranyakashipu stopped all this because he wanted to enjoy everything of everybody. It's not only that okay, this is my palace, and whatever is in my palace is mine. No, everything in the whole universe is mine. So when he thought that it is too sunny, he was just like in his palace, the demigods was waiting with the folded arms, folded hands, to take orders from him, and he used to say, Surya, just dim your light. So they used to just dim the light. When he wanted rain, he said, Indra, I want rain. No clouds, I want rain, it has to rain. So that's how bad he was. But by uh, because he offended his dear son, who was a very pure devotee of Lord Vishnu, he met his death. So yes, let's read a little ahead and see how it goes. Text 45. Text 45 translation. Okay, let's drink some water and hydrate. Now we saw the prayers of the Pitraloka inhabitants. Now we are seeing the inhabitants of Siddhaloka. The inhabitants of Siddhaloka prayed, "O Lord Narasimhadev, because we belong to Siddhaloka, we automatically achieve perfection in all 8 kinds of mystic power. Yet Hiranyakashipu was so dishonest that by the strength of his power and austerity, he took away our powers. Thus he became very proud of his mystic strength. Now, because this rogue has been killed by your nails, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Commentary. On earth, there are many yogis who can exhibit some feeble mystic power by manufacturing pieces of gold like magic, but the inhabitants of the planets of Siddhaloka are actually extremely powerful in mysticism. They can fly from one planet to another without airplanes. This is called Laghima Siddhi. They can actually become very light and fly in the sky by a severe type of austerity. However, Hiranyakashipu excelled all the inhabitants of Siddhaloka and created disturbances for them. The residents of Siddhaloka were also beaten by the powers of Hiranyakashipu. Now that Hiranyakashipu had been killed by the Lord, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka felt relief. There's always a relief. when some demon dies and everything is restored to proper law and order. So let's see. Prabhupada is explaining that these people of Siddhaloka have all the eight siddhis perfected, and many of us don't know yoga siddhis. Yoga, when we hear the term yoga nowadays, we think it's some exercise to keep the body fit, so that we can have peaceful mind. Everything technically is done for peaceful mind, but yoga is like an addition, that our body is also perfect, we can enjoy the world properly. If our body is not good, we cannot enjoy the world properly. But they don't know that when we do yoga, all these eight siddhis should come into us. Siddhis means powers. First is Anima Siddhi. Anima Siddhi is to become smaller than the smallest. We see in this movie Ant-Man. I don't remember. I've just heard this names, but and the name itself said that this man can become small like an ant and go about his business of restoring law and order or whatever he was doing. But that's by mechanical process. He used to wear some suit and something like that. But here, if we are actually doing proper yoga, then we will know that we should attain Anima Siddhi, which is becoming smaller than the smallest. Then the second Siddhi is Mahima Siddhi. Mahima Siddhi is to become larger than the largest. Like even Mount Everest is smaller than, if somebody who has attained Mahima Siddhi. We don't see that. We don't see people attaining Mahima Siddhi. This guy is like, oh, I'm a big yoga instructor, I'm a big yogi, and all he knows is to do some exercise, stand on the head. That's all he can do. But the real yogi who has, all these siddhis, he's much, much better than that guy. He can become smaller than the smallest, larger than the largest. The third is Garima. Garima is to become very, very heavy. So much heavy that, no, you are much more heavier than elephant, or, they say that whale is also an animal which is heavier than the elephant, still heavier than the heaviest, which is, we don't see that. This guy is lean, thin, and he tells me, or tells people that oh, I'm a big yoga instructor, I'm a big yogi. Like a skinny guy, it's like if you just push him, poof, he'll fall and he'll break his bones. Then after Garima, there is Laghima Siddhi, to become lighter than the lightest. This we have an experience, not personally, but we have heard our spiritual masters in disciplic succession. Prabhupada himself said that that we have seen people how they can levitate by sitting in yoga. They just sit in Padmasana and meditating, and they're levitating above the ground. So this siddhi somebody has achieved, but not the others. But one who is a perfect yogi from Siddhaloka, he has got all the siddhis. Then there is Prapti Siddhi. He can obtain anything from anywhere. That's not possible in these days, because anything from anywhere, you have to pay. For pay, you got to work. For work, you got to know the education. For education, you got to go to school, which starts from the very beginning of life. So you can't just really go and get anything, obtain anything from anywhere. But this yogi, he can really do that. He can obtain anything from anywhere. We have not seen, because this is not Siddhaloka, this is Martyaloka, where people eventually die. Siddhaloka is people have all these siddhis. Then there is Prakamya Siddhi. In this siddhi, we can fulfill any desire that we have. If a yogi just desires that, okay, I should go to America and, like, just have a look at the lady standing there. What's her name? Statue of Liberty. He can just be there. He doesn't have to, like, okay, I have to go America. I got to have so much money. Then I got to apply for a visa, which is a difficult process, because America is the great country who doesn't allow other country people to come easily, visa, and then the tickets which are expensive, especially with this petrol issue, and also the Middle East, because Dubai, Emirates used to give the cheapest airlines, and now because of the war, everything has become expensive. So it's a problem. And from there, you got to get visa, ticket, then you got to you know fly, which is from India. It is good 20-24 hours. Stop over in Europe somewhere, or maybe in Dubai somewhere, and then continue the flight over the ocean, and just pray that it doesn't crash, because we'll be in water, and we wouldn't even have a proper funeral then. So people have to worry, and then finally you get there. Then there is the people at the immigration. Even after obtaining visa, they want to know, why are you in the country? I mentioned it in the visa application form. You should know that. So it's a very difficult process. But a yogi, oh, I want to see the lady holding the torch. He's there in America. Oh, I want to see the Eiffel Tower. He's here. Oh, I want to see the Statue of Unity, which is the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He's there in Gujarat, taking a look of the statue. So it's very easy for the Siddhas, but for us, it's very difficult. I personally like to try bungee jumping. They will never allow me. For that, I'll have to go to some European country or South Africa or some country which has nice cliffs from which we can jump. I mean, they'll never allow me. But and I can't just go, okay, close my eyes, and here I'm in Africa, I'm, jumping. No, it doesn't happen like that. There's a whole process. But for somebody who has Prakamya Siddhi, it's just there. Then seventh Siddhi is Ishitva Siddhi. In this Ishitva Siddhi, the Siddha who has the Siddhi, he can control over nature. Whenever he feels personally that, oh, it's too hot, so he can just change the weather temporarily. He can change the nature, it's raining. Oh, I'm in this area. Maybe, this area should have less rain so that I can go out and do my things. So it's very, 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 wrong thing that, oh, I'm a yogi, but he really can't do all these things. And then the eighth, but last one is Vashitva, which is the ability to control others. I know, because I am a kind of a priest, so I had one of my friends coming over and telling me, Prabhu, my child is not listening to me. Please do some Vashikaran. I'm like, no, I'm not a yogi, I'm not a Siddha, I'm just, trying to be a servant of Krishna and his devotees. So, Vashitva, you can really you can influence some people's lives. And that's nowadays, if somebody has that, it's called black magic, how, you control the people and make them do stuff. So, but nowadays, yogi is somebody who can just meditate, stand on the head, be peaceful, do tai chi and stuff like that, but not the real siddhis. He never has a real siddhi. So yes, we see some people trying to get all of the above, but can't really get any of the above, because it's not something which is available on our planet. It's available on Siddhaloka, like how we read in this commentary by Srila Prabhupada. And then we also see how people become magicians, like to show that, I have prapti siddhi, that, I can just I can obtain gold. They just, I've seen people go, and there's a ball of gold in their hand. But then, if you're such a big magician who has so much of siddhis, then why are you asking money for your magic tricks? Why can't you just make money and be rich? No, they want to, you know, make money out of their magic. But if they are truly magicians, if they truly have prapti siddhi, they wouldn't need money for their magic tricks. They can just make magic and make money out of their magic and live life. So it is very very necessary to know what yoga is, what yoga siddhi is. Or anybody will fool us, oh, I'm a big yoga teacher and all he can teach is some breathing exercise and some exercise to keep your body happy so that you can enjoy better. But the real enjoyment comes from chanting Hare Krishna, because when we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna is right there with us, God is right there with us, because his name and his form is non-different. So he's right there with us. So all these problems around us will not really irritate us. So yes, let's call it a day today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Today is Ekadashi again. Please try and fast so that you get extra points in God's diary. Hare Krishna.